Hello everyone, we're back.
And you're eating again.
Almost finished my ice cream, almost. My celebratory ice cream. Mwahaha. We have, during the break, lost John, he's not feeling great, and extremely shattered. So what he's done is he's passed his sheet over to Dan, who will carry on playing Snuggum, the big snug daddy. So, where are we?
I don't know, we're knocked out.
Who knows? Oh, yay! Yes, we're back. Hello.
So, you guys wake up one by one, and you can see the Caliph, and it just about comes into focus. It's hot. You must be outside in the sun.
Can
But
we
it's not-
move our arms and legs?
No, we're handcuffed.
We can still move our arms and legs.
Your eyes are only just opening.
Oh, okay.
Wait till I've finished explaining
Okay.
before you go and interrupt, you naughty boy.
Bobbo, calm down.
Or I will go and get a detached keyboard so I can mute your mic. Hello, everyone. No, so you kind of open your eyes. It's very bright, but not super bright. And the things at a distance are brighter than close up. And coming into focus, you feel awful. You feel injured, battered, bruised. And the Caliph comes into focus. And you can just sort of see him with his nasty little grin on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then your focus starts improving, and you realise there's iron bars between the two of you. And you try to move. Your legs will move, but they're cuffed. And not only are they cuffed, they're chained up to these iron bars. And you then realise, so are your hands behind your back. And you can't move properly. Your arms, your wrists are chained together behind one of the bars. So your hands are effectively outside. And you are in effectively a cage that has a canvas roof on it to at least shade you from the heat of the day.
It's better than what I was thinking.
And you kind of look around, there is a load of soldiers around you. And lots of camels. It stinks.
Camels.
And you kind of look towards the front of the carriage and you can see out through. And there are more camels there that are harnessed up to what turns out to be a cage on a carriage or on a cart. And the Caliph climbs onto his camel and stands up. And you hear him sort of shout, "We go!" And you start plodding along, and during this you kind of drop out in and out of consciousness. You kind of drop asleep, and then you wake up again and you're looking around. And eventually you all regain enough consciousness and enough cognizance to be able to at least start having a conversation with each other. But at this point you look to the back to where you've gone, and by this point you've done 2, maybe 3 miles, and Gadan is shrinking into the distance as you are heading across the desert. From the position of the sun, you can tell it's either early afternoon or lunchtime, maybe. The sun is high in the sky. You can see from the angle of the shadows and the direction of it. You work out you're definitely heading south. You're heading towards Asthan. The Caliph is taking you to the Sultan.
How close am I to Bobbo?
You're next to each other.
Bobbo.
I'll say that Bobbo's in between the two of you, being the smaller one.
Bobbo.
And we'll have...
You can get us out. Well, it's a better situation than what I was thinking.
We are. I could survive in the desert.
Can we see where our equipment is?
I have a question.
Your equipment, you look around At first glance, no. You can comfortably make the assumption that all of your stuff was put into that bag of holding and is with one of the guards somewhere, but you can't see which one. Looking around, you've had a nice fight with 24 guards.
Mm-hmm. And then
You're pretty sure there's more than that around at the moment.
Okay, so somewhere in the cage, sulking, you're just going to hear of...
Well, Snuggum is curled up in the corner.
That's what I mean. He's just muttering to himself like, could have found myself that cave.
You're kind of, every now and again, you're
Nice
not sure.
cave
You think you hear,
with a nice
I
balcony.
want to go back to our cave. Cave I grew up in was nice.
Well, nobody wanted him in that cave. He wants a new cave. He wants his own cave.
Could have been a cave all by his own.
Don't worry.
But no, he got dragged into this
Don't worry.
murderous plot.
He voluntarily took this.
Yeah.
But
Well,
now
it
he's
was either
regretting
that
it.
he was getting kicked out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, Snuggum. If you eventually find the cave and I've got nothing better to do, I'll accompany you.
You're a bit big for caves.
I can hunch down.
You'll make my cave cold.
You'll make the door too big.
Right, alright, I won't join you then.
Excellent.
Oh.
What conversations are you guys going to have? There are guards close by.
Exactly, you can't make any plans to get
You
free.
could whisper to each other,
But they'd hear that.
but just to point out, all of your belongings have gone. You are literally just in your base clothes. Even your footwear has been taken away. You are barefoot, but you are manacled at your feet. You're manacled at your hands. You cannot cast any spells that require somatic component or physical components. All you've got is verbal. And looking around, you see these guards. They've got those crossbows. They've got their swords. They've got their armor. There's a hell of a lot of them.
We could take a couple.
You're having been in enough fights yourself. You, Anderloss especially, would know.
Oh, this is
there's a time to fight, and there's a time to go along and wait for a better opportunity to fight.
That's what I'm thinking of. My plan is we get out from the city. We can make a run for it in the city.
I know Bobbo, at least Dan is desperately trying to think of a way out. But
No. Are these guards the same ones that were in that area with us?
they look the same.
Okay.
They might be.
So the guards...
None of them are covered in blood or bruises or anything, but
They're also here.
they're also armoured, so you're not quite sure. To be fair, you're not even sure if this is the same day that you had the fight.
That makes sense.
It could be a couple of days later. It could just be the same day. All you know is your throat is dry and you're hot and you hurt.
Okay.
And the last thing you remember is being smacked down to the floor.
I say we just wait and see if we can get a better opportunity.
Yeah, like I said, the last thing you remember is tripping up.
Yeah.
Where we are in the cage, do we have like riders just outside the cage next to us?
Yes.
Can I try and get the
They won't be
riders?
right next to you. There will be...
But within earshot.
Yeah.
Within earshot. Can I try and persuade the rider next to me to allow us some water?
You can try.
I will give you guidance. But that does not require it. But let me double check.
When he says components, how do you know? When it says VS,
Vocal,
what does that mean?
somatic, and...
You have VSM.
Verbal,
So you've got verbal
movement.
is your mouth, somatic is hand gestures, and M is material components.
Okay.
Just
Now,
make
some
sure the
people
verbal
have-
is only verbal.
Don't require material anyway,
Yeah.
but most spells are going to require somatics.
I need my hands. Sorry. But I can encourage you, but join the
Right,
conversation.
you could always just do it with your mouth.
I could assist you.
I have one verbal spell, and
I'll
that
give you
is it.
assistance. I see you have advantage.
Okay, so assistance means
I'm about to choose the
advantage.
chocolate
Yes, that's
teapot.
what
I
it
have
is.
one verbal spell that I need.
It's best I can do.
I mean, what you've got to bear in mind is knowing that you've got magic amongst you.
Yeah.
Why would someone lock you up, giving you the ability to cast magic?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're kind of, it would be like giving sharp metal cutlery to all of the prisoners in a Category A prison.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
It's a really stupid idea.
You avoid as much as you can.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there are ways out.
You can take them. We can take them.
That's a 21 on persuasion.
Okay. He looks at you and he gets a water skin. He comes a little bit closer and he's unstoppers it and he kind of leans it through the bars to you and sort of by your face and then tips it. It starts dribbling down your chin, but you're able to take a drink.
Yeah.
And he will do this again for each one of you.
Okay.
He will call over to his mate, the guard on the other side, who sees what he's doing. Gets his, and he goes over to the other opposite side to you guys and tries to give Snuggum a drink.
While he's leaning over, and obviously he would have. Would the word still be fed?
Watered.
I don't know. Water sounds like you're.
Yeah, well, he's trying to give you.
As he's doing that, he's
Hydrating.
He's gave me some. He's gone to give Elzana some and Anderloss some. Can I just go? Were you one of the ones we fought in that room? That weird room?
Doesn't respond to you. He just concentrates on what he's doing, stoppers the bottle, slings it's a water skin, slings it back over his shoulder, faces the front again.
I'm just going to carry on talking for a bit. I'm just going to go. Look, sorry if you were. We got we're just looking out for our companions and all that sort of stuff. No hard feelings.
Completely ignores you. Totally blanks you.
What day is it?
Still blanking you. Completely. He's too well trained. He knows what his job is, and his job is to just get you where you're going.
Fair enough. Well, doesn't look like they're talking.
Not a talkative bunch, I suppose. I get it. We're basically cargo at this point.
Yeah. What actually happened, Elzana? You were the only one left.
Oh, I don't remember after I hit the floor.
Actually, that's the point. You were alive.
I was alive for a lot of it. I was trying to heal you, and that's the last thing I remember, Bobbo. I was running over to heal you so you didn't die. That's the last thing I remember.
Elzana?
I don't know. He told me to kneel. I said no, and then the next thing I know, we're here. So.
Fair enough.
Sugar's just still in the corner going, what my cave?
Yeah, it's alright. No, go down. Alright.
Cave life.
We'll be fine. They're not planning on. They would have killed us already if they wanted us dead.
That's what the.
Other than that, I don't think there's much we can do.
Mm-hmm. Not really.
No. You continue on.
We'll just wait patiently.
And
wait for our moment.
the miles go by. The air is dusty at times, settled at others. Now and again there's a nice cool breeze. Other times it's a hot breeze.
Can I know it's going to sound really weird, but can I make it, because I know Snuggum and Bobbo are small, can I make it so my back's like the sun and they're sitting in front of me?
Well, you're...
So but I'm quite large.
arms behind your back,
Are they
up against the
proper?
cage.
Yeah, we're
You've got
kind of-
Bobbo to your
Can I-
left, then there's Elzana.
Because we're right next to each other, so I
Snuggles
could kind
in the corner.
of lean and cover him.
Well,
both,
I think depending on where the sun is,
Yeah, the sun would have
you
been
and
to
Elzana
the
are
side
going
to
to be
start with.
stopping it.
yeah.
The sun would have come from your right to start with,
Yeah.
and eventually will be coming round behind you.
Yeah, well, I'll cover it as much as possible.
You'll do what
yeah.
you can, but
Can I do an insight check?
you're all getting sunburnt shoulders at least.
Well, I'm heat resistant, so
Can I do an insight check on
the time.
the shackles?
What are you trying to do?
Just like if
How
they're
sturdy they are.
just basically if they're standard issue shackles or whether they're like especially
Do it,
designed or anything
do it
like
as
that.
an investigation check.
Yeah, so
What'd you get?
6.
6.
Sturdy cuffs.
They're iron, at least. Solid.
That's what I wanted insight.
They're burning a little
Oh,
bit.
hang on, no, that's hang on.
Oh,
But they're heating up through
Sorry,
the day.
I got 7.
So they're hot.
Do you have a feeling that you're going to get marks? You're going to get marked by these. It's going to take a little while for that to heal.
I wouldn't get marked.
Well, you might.
I'm
They're on tight.
heat
It's
resistant.
where they no, but it's not just the heat. It's where they rub.
Friction. Yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe.
Friction's a form of heat.
So
We wait.
overall, several days are going to pass. Overnight, small tents are erected for the guards and the Caliph. And there's always guards on shift. They have hooded lanterns that are set up, and they are set up in such a way on spikes in the sand that
How are they not getting attacked by aberrants?
Maybe they know a route or something.
there's all these hooded lanterns, and there's probably a good dozen, and they're all aimed at you. You actually find you get a really poor night's sleep, not only because you're uncomfortable and still chained and tied up effectively, but you are finding it's almost as bright during the night as it is during the day. Every little movement you make, you know that you're being watched. Overnight, you're also not sure who's around. You can hear movement. You know there's guards moving. There's a little clinking now and again. There's the rubbing of leather shoes on sand. There's the constant grumbling of camels. There's very little conversation. These are well-trained, well-drilled soldiers, and they are on a particular job.
Would I be able to, like, in our little thing that was sitting here in our little thing, would I be able to just, like, sing a little tune to everyone else?
You can if you wish.
Is that good? Cool. That what performance?
If you want.
That will be a nat 20 at free. I'm very good at it.
Okay. You guys only take 1 point of damage to your ears.
Oh, I'm good at it.
I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking.
I've got a talent for this.
Yeah, and now and again, mainly nearer early mornings, you hear screeching, and you recognise it as the screaming and attack calls of scorpions, and
They probably got something.
you hear the clashing of weapons and things, and next thing you know, there's a fire being started, and scorpions being cooked. And yeah, this maybe half a dozen over the next couple of days and nights of travel. This happens.
So, if we've done this a couple of nights on the road, would that class as a full rest? 'Cause
You will have all only had a bad long rest, but over several days of
Well,
it,
that's
you
what
will
I'm
be
saying.
back up to full health.
yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying. Over a few nights,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
I'm
ultimately,
not
you would really be. It's kind of like having a level of exhaustion carrying through, but it's because you are getting some rest.
There's nothing else.
I'll let you have the full long rest. You're fed only stale bread and water, and it is literally fed to you. You are not having your hands freed at all at any time.
Can we see these scorpions that they're cooking?
You can look around now and again, but they're not going to let you have any of that.
No. I'm not wanting any of that. You know, it's more the fact of can we tell if they've got like a faint blue glow?
You can't, but you'd be surprised if they did, because these are all wild ones.
You know, they've been in the wild before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only blue one, the one you've seen that was aberrant,
The big
was
blue
being
one.
was
Raised.
basically raised right next to a crate of this stuff.
Yeah, but the mooses we encountered
Yeah.
were wild.
Yeah,
That would
but
mean
that's
that it's
because
still
someone
against
had.
wild.
Yeah, but someone had the crystals and then went and buried them, didn't
They
they?
buried him in the desert.
They did, but obviously it's still something we have to.
Every time you've had aberrants, there's been a store of crystals nearby.
nearby.
Yeah, but we're also not able to go out and search to see if there is crystals nearby.
Yeah, I mean, all you can see is sand,
Okay.
and
everywhere.
nothing so far. Nothing
looks out
in
right
this
now.
in the entire journey so far, from where you left your homes. Nothing along any of that journey has made you think this stuff is growing wild.
I'll tell
But
you
then
what,
it's got to be manufactured where we were then.
I miss just
It's got to
running
be coming
jobs.
from somewhere,
Mm.
but you just don't know what.
I miss just one simple thing and then going home.
I know, right?
After a few days of just having this stale bread and water, you are all soiled. They are not letting you use a bucket or anything. You are
Lovely.
still chained where you are. You have no choice.
Lovely.
You are probably highly embarrassed. You
I
are,
couldn't care less. I've been in
you know,
worse.
you are really beat down.
I couldn't care less. I've been in worse situations than this.
Can we tell if there is a lesser number of soldiers
Guards.
coming back when these
Really?
scorpions attack?
Not really. I mean, if there is, you don't notice. And when you're on the march again, you look around.
It looks
You
like
can't
the same
see any. You can't see any sort of camels that don't have a guard on them.
number. But if there is any dying while doing this, it's only very minimal numbers.
Or there was more than one guard to a camel before and it just wasn't mentioned.
Not that you've seen. But it's not like you can see all of the guards anyway.
Exactly.
Some are up the front, some are behind, some are over that way, some are
It's
behind
alright,
you.
guys. I've been in worse situations than this, and I've made it through. We'll be fine.
After these few days, you are uncomfortable, you are aching, you're back at your full hit points, and when one of you would glance ahead and then nudge the rest and kind of nod your head forward,
We've arrived.
and the vista of Astan comes into view. Clean white marble and whitewashed walls against the slightly dirty yellowy sand of the Astan desert. And you can see lush greenery growing.
Yeah. Nice.
The closeness of this city to the coast means that Astan is a resource-rich oasis spreading into the desert.
Fair enough.
Right on the edge of this barren, dry desert. Because the desert goes all the way to the sea, but what they've done is they've been able to separate the water and irrigate and effectively raise an entire city out of the sand. Some people see this as the jewel of the world. Others see it as one of the most dangerous places ever. And what seems like hours of moving towards Astan, the city getting bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually to the point at which when you look directly forwards, your entire peripheral vision is taken up. You arrive and you see the sheer scale of the city.
Pretty big.
The largest city you've been to so far is Brunei. And Brunei just seems more like a town compared to this place. It is massive.
Okay.
I think he's quite
And
insane.
in a way, you feel quite overwhelmed by this. Especially Bobbo.
Why?
You've never seen.
Overwhelmed as in amazed, or overwhelmed as in
I could rob so many people.
Um,
That's what you're thinking. So many cons.
it's more like you've grown up and lived around small towns. When you got to Brunei, it was like, wow, this place is huge. Now you've got to somewhere that you just can't quite comprehend how big it is. You know, the wall goes as far as your eyesight goes that way and that way. And it's like, how could it be that big? That's impossible.
I genuinely feel like you're setting me up here.
No. I'm just saying it's like that. To the other two of you guys, it's just big.
I was
and
a robbing crew for a long time.
yeah, so
Probably
to
seen
you
a
guys,
bigger
you
cities.
see it's big and massive, and this is one of the largest cities in the world.
Oh.
Whereas Snuggum, it kind of looks around and it's like, I wish there was a roof.
Yeah.
You know, wish there were close walls.
Are you alright?
Bobbo's just like, wow, it's massive. Never seen one so big.
Understandable.
This is why I said it looks like you're setting me up.
No, I wasn't at all. And yeah, anyway, you come up to the walls, the city walls, and you can tell that as the city's grown, what they've done is they've effectively built a new bit of wall. You know, they've started building outside the city wall, built a new city wall round it, and then taken down the original bit that loops in the middle.
They've reinforced it.
So it's kind of bit by bit, the city wall gets rebuilt and grows the city.
Okay. Pretty fancy.
And so because of this, it's an uneven wall peppered with multiple gates everywhere. And you travel through one of these, and with the amount of buildings here, the Bobbo size queen confirmed. But yeah, you as you're heading into the city, because there's now shade from buildings, you can really feel the temperature difference.
It's quite funny.
I have no idea what he's giggling about now.
They're awful.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we're all just confused by him now.
So
yeah,
it's no good being massive if it just doesn't have the fluids.
It's all right, Bobbo. You can go back to kindergarten soon. But no, you've gone into the city now. You're finding now you're going down the streets. The temperature has massively dropped, and everywhere seems to be empty. All the streets and side streets, alleyways, all the buildings are closed up. It's very, very odd. But maybe that's because the business in the city is done elsewhere. These are more the suburbs where people live. You're not sure. You can't tell. Doors are closed. There's nothing around.
Do we not see anyone peering out of windows? Or
No.
Okay.
But bit by bit, you do start to see the odd people, and it's that the population grows the further into the city you go. And now and again, there are people trying to run up to the guards and trying to sell them goods, being pushed out of the way by all the guards.
That's not very nice.
And you end up eventually kind of going through multiple districts, and you can see that there are a lot of people with different clothing and different styles.
And it looks like they're
It's kind of where you can tell from most of the two towns you've been in so far, you can tell this is Astan. It's a traditional garb of people that live in the desert. It's slightly different here. You can tell this is a capital city. There's a more cosmopolitan kind of feel to it. People were willing to try things a little bit different, dress slightly differently. You know, their food, they will do different stuff and whatnot. And eventually,
Price is extortionate.
you don't know.
If we're in the cart, we wouldn't know.
We could see signs.
The guards eventually start to slow down, and so does the cart. But the guards seem to separate and move to the side. And the cart, with you on, starts heading down a slope. And it seems like you're going underground.
Oh, Snuggum will love this.
Yeah,
At this
she's
point,
getting very
Snuggum seems to kind of perk up a bit. He's definitely been in the doldrums and very dark mood. But he starts to wake up a little bit and is looking around. Like, finally, there's something above my head.
Caves.
Almost like a cave.
Yeah.
Not sure if this is man-made or if it's natural, but, you know, the ground has obviously been cleared for a cart to go down.
This is something that would take to the cells.
And eventually, yes, you go down into the city's cells.
Yep.
And there are hundreds of cells down here.
Oh, like me.
And there's a lot of people in there.
I was about to say
But there's also a lot that are empty.
Hmm.
The smell, not great.
Based on the ground, I can't imagine it smell great.
However, eventually, you arrive somewhere where they open up the back of the cart, and you can see there is a cell ready for you.
Oh, lovely.
Your first glance in there, you can see that there are buckets of water. There's an empty bucket in the corner. There is basic food, which includes meats and cheeses that you can see. And there are like towels and spare clothing. You kind of get the impression that these might be nasty people, but they're civilized at least. Got a certain amount of civility. And a guard starts unlocking your cuffs.
Oh,
And another one at the back of the cart. He just looks at you and says, "Don't try anything.
Of course not.
You come out of here, you go into there. You can clean yourselves up. We will do what we can to make your stay comfortable. If you cooperate."
Any guards are around us?
If there's a few,
Okay.
not many. You can hear there's others walking around. If you try anything, then your privileges get removed. You can either have a comfortable stay, or you can have a very uncomfortable stay. From what I understand, the Sultan is very excited to see you.
I bet.
I bet he is. He wants to kill us, I'm pretty sure.
Not that we did
I
all
don't
this
know.
claiming.
He kills very few people.
Uh-huh.
kills very few people himself.
Some people, they commit crimes and are killed, but he likes to play with people. If you are lucky, you will survive.
Are you one of the guards from the room?
Why do you
What
keep
room?
asking that?
That
No,
room
right.
where we were caught.
Come on,
Or
Bobbo.
the room that
No.
we stopped.
No, they've left us.
I am a royal guard.
Okay.
And you at that point, you realise he's wearing different clothing to
Okay.
all the other guards.
Understandable.
Sounds like you're just in it for the job. Well, I respect somebody doing a job. It's fine.
And he just...
Elzana, you come in? Get cleaned up?
Don't think I have a choice, do I?
No, I don't think any of us do.
He's like,
How many buckets
not
of water?
really, but we give you the choice anyway.
How many buckets of water did you say was there?
There's a fresh one of water
Just one?
each. No, there's one each. And when you get there into the cell, you look into the bucket and you can see there is,
mucky though.
just the other side of it, there is a bar of soap. There are towels for you to dry yourself,
Oh, what about clean clothes?
and there are basic clothes, basic clean clothes.
Right.
And they say, from the smell, I guess you've not been let out very often.
Not at all.
Rest
What's
up
that
overnight. Throw your dirty clothes out of the cage. out of your cell.
Will we get them back, or?
They'll get cleaned for you.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
We're not barbaric.
Okay, so first things first, we use 1 bucket to strip wash. And then we still got water to drink.
No, there's jugs of water in there for you.
Oh, as well. Okay.
There's basically
Food and water.
there are 4 cots
Yeah.
made up ready for bed. There is a mess bucket.
Yep.
There's the cleaning bucket, and then there's a kind of table attached to the wall that has just wooden beakers, a large wooden jug or basic pottery jug. Looks fairly fragile.
Can I inspect the cage?
Yeah.
Is that investigation or?
4 solid walls and iron bars across the front.
Cool. I'm thinking more like Arcana. If there's any spells that I can sense.
You can, if you give me a good enough roll. I've got to ask
Investigation.
a roll.
Arcana.
Probably Arcana, right?
Probably Arcana, right?
I've got a +4 in that.
18.
18. Okay. Are you doing an Arcana check as well?
You know what? I'm going to do an Arcana check for Bobbo as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Hilarious if you get a nat 20.
What's 18 +4?
22.
22.
Okay.
I had an 18.
I got a 5. So Bobbo's going in the room first. Bobbo's just going to walk in there, standard, and
It's the
go,
room.
yeah, no magic in here, lads. We'll be all right.
Who got this?
Yeah, nothing happens, and you're walking uncomfortably. You've been bound. You're stiff, and
Probably got dried in
you've-
shit.
yeah, I mean, you've not really been fed much, so you probably didn't do much, but you would have almost certainly done something. Either that, or you're going to be doubled over in pain
Because you need
from
to.
being constipated.
Snuggum
It's one or
runs
the
in-
other.
Snuggum runs in close behind, like it's like a cave.
Snuggum's having a great time.
Yeah, Snuggum runs in and hides under one of the
Yeah.
cots in the
It's
corner.
like, yeah.
Oh, this is luxury.
This is home.
This is-
So with your rolls, you can tell there is a magic emanation. You're just not sure where from. There's something around here.
Even
You,
with-
on the other hand,
Yeah.
you can tell that there is something under the ground, outside the cage. It's kind of, if you think of almost like a roadway with cells going along. And this roadway, the cart has gone down. It will then turn around, come out again. So it's quite wide. Probably about the width of this room, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
Okay.
But under the ground, in the middle of the road, as such, there is something buried that is emanating
Yeah.
magic.
Crystals, but yeah, crystal.
And that's about all you can tell.
Okay.
Um,
And I had a pretty high roll.
that's more from your magical sensing magic. But that is all you can sense.
Have the guards left us now?
And I'm going to say that for both of you, actually, the sense that you get, or the feeling you get from this, is very, very similar
To the room.
to that room that you were in.
Oh, so it's going to be another. So
There's
there's no
no-
point
there's no
doing
point
detect
of-
magic then.
If you try, you wouldn't get anything.
Okay.
Nothing would happen. I mean, effectively, there's no point having a prison if you're going to let magicians or magic users be able to cast. Because they're not going to stay contained for very long.
That makes sense.
But yeah, you're... Remember, wash your face first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Very good.
But yeah, you do clean yourselves up. You throw your clothing out. It's the end of the next day before your clothes are actually brought back to you. They're not brilliantly washed,
Can I just be
and they're
testing
certainly
the
not
room?
folded.
Can I be testing the room, going around casting a cantrip guidance like I did in the other room, see if there's any blind
Yeah,
spots,
you can do what you can maybe try casting light or whatever on
guidance and
different stones.
trying
and-
to see.
Not happening. Nothing.
Nowhere in this room.
With
You feel cut off. You're probably
Okay.
starting to feel a
This
bit
is
paranoid
like-
about this.
Yeah.
That you've been
enjoy this.
forsaken.
it's probably not helping with Bobbo, obviously thinking that he can't detect any magic. Just going, will you stop pissing around and just get us out of it?
There's an anti-magic field, Bobbo.
There's nothing. I do not sense a damn thing.
Bobbo, do you want me to reenact what happened in that crown room? This time I won't have the healing spells.
You've also got to bear in mind that there's a point at which Anderloss realises that the basic foods he's receiving aren't enough, and he looks for a quick snack.
I'm still under the...
I was used to eating paper.
You're easier to get hold of.
Yeah, but
You're
he
far
likes,
more fleshy.
he likes the taste of kobold.
That's true. I did like the taste of paper.
Actually, you did say that you
I
really like the taste of halfling.
I did like tasting a halfling.
No, genuinely.
You've got to remember, you've seen him eat your friends.
Just noticed that.
That's actually a point, yeah. Actually, I wasn't here for that, so I can't remember.
Yeah,
that.
but your character,
My character knows that.
your character definitely
Your
knows
character
that.
will eat multiple halflings and love them.
Elzana, on the other hand, you're sat
Always
there
right.
for a couple of days in this basic linen clothing they've given you, and you kind of think actually it's good quality clothing. It's all right. It's comfortable. But you're sat there and you're just constantly looking around, and not only do you feel cut off from magic, but there is no nature here whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to say cut off.
There's
from
not
nature
even
as well.
moss or mould in a corner anywhere. It is just
There's
dry.
nothing. Barren.
But what you do all appreciate is down here, it is cool.
Not boiling.
It's potentially, or those times when you just sat there and you think, this is the perfect temperature. And then there are other times where you think, this is almost perfect temperature. If I had to stay in this, I'd start getting a little bit too cold. You're kind of like that.
Oh.
It's just a little bit too cold. After a couple of days, though, your clothes have been returned to you. They've been washed, but they've just been, held in a bundle and shoved through the door for you guys. And now and again, they do ask you to move to the back of the cell. They open the doors. They've taken away your dirty water. After the initial dirty water, they only sort of buckets. They only bring one at a time for you to do basic washing. But eventually, a guard who seems to be dressed a bit more ornately comes along. He looks at all of you. A Grennari.
Yep.
Halfling.
Yep.
Kobold.
Yep. These are my kobolds.
And a furbolg. Not seen one of your kind before. You will come with me. And he opens the cell. And he steps back. And he kind of puts his arm out as if to say, follow me. Or go this way.
Okay, we're not being cuffed.
There is no need to cuff you.
Castle's probably anti-magic.
Okay.
What can you do?
Nothing.
You are in the middle of the cells. You have no idea how to get out. You're surrounded by guards. And you can't do anything.
We could kill a lot of your guards.
You might be able to overpower me and maybe take a weapon and maybe a couple of others. How many guards do you think there are? Do you even know?
No.
Can you make an educated guess?
50 million.
150.
You would never survive.
But neither would you. Right, come on.
Besides, if you were wanted dead,
Oh, you could have killed us already. I'm well aware.
you'd be dead.
I understand that. I'm just
Then
saying.
we could have poisoned your food.
Oh,
I
Don't even
it's
need
not
magic.
far off of it, to be honest.
Right, where are we going? Are we allowed to inquire, or do we just have to go along with it?
You're coming to see the Sultan.
Oh, lovely. So, public execution?
Not as far as I am aware.
Oh, that's better.
The
than-
gallows have not been set up for quite a while.
Ah, how about the fighting pit?
The Sultan has a more interesting way of doing things.
Fighting pits?
Not,
Saw that in the
really-
other town.
not quite.
Oh, okay. Well, lead on then, good sir.
More classy.
Oh, more classy. Oh.
I don't mind doing a
Death
few
by
jobs.
Snoo Snoo!
Death by Snow. No!
Sorry. It's just going my head.
Elzana's a frisky one.
Elzana's been pent up in that cage too long.
It came into my head, so I said it.
I need somebody.
Anderloss was eyeing Bobbo as a snack, and I was eyeing off Anderloss and Bobbo going, we shall go and survive.
Elzana's looking around the room thinking, I'll break that one, but can that one even do? Ooh, I don't know.
Who knows?
I wonder how he... Ooh.
No one knows how the Grennari does it. We haven't done it in years.
Which one sits on the egg?
Not me.
But anyway, you are taken along and you go up steps and along corridors and up steps and along corridors, through doors and archways, and there are temperature differences. Most of the time the light is dim, but there are times when torches are lit and you can see a bit more, and eventually you are led
Into a room.
you realise you haven't travelled very far left or right, forward, backwards, but more up than anything else. And if anything, you've been spiralling.
Like a spire.
And you eventually arrive in what looks like a very opulent marble palace.
Yay.
What you do realise along your route is at almost every junction, at every doorway,
Guards.
there are guards.
Makes sense.
You must have passed nearly 100 by the time you get to the palace.
That's pretty close for 150.
We haven't seen
some of them, you
everywhere.
didn't see all of them. Some of them were hiding.
Why were they scared?
I just got this image of us going up there now with a guard poking her. I was like, oh, they're coming.
No, here they come.
Good. You look over at a portrait, you swear the eyes move.
But you've also got to think that there's probably town guard and palace guard.
Yeah,
at
this
the
is
door.
all
At this
Royal
point,
Guard.
there is all the royal guard. And you realise there are... The further you
Even
go...
the royal guard, though, at the main entrance, you'll
Yeah.
still have.
Yeah, but the further you go, the
the high rank
uniform seems to be getting more opulent. And by the time you get into the palace,
It's
the same uniform of the guy who's come to collect you.
Oh, okay. It's just really fancy stuff.
I mean, there are feathers on his epaulets. He's got a hat with feathers sticking out of it, and you kind of realise...
So friendly. How good at fighting are you?
Probably better than you. I have never been best.
Fighting words.
Never been best since I joined the army.
I would love to give us a good scrap one time. You know I may be going to my death, but I do like a good scrap.
Maybe if you survive the next few days, we might
course.
become friends. It depends.
Well, I don't know about that one, but I can respect.
You have a
it.
chance to live.
Oh. We forsake all bonds of fellowship.
Eventually, you end up in this large hall,
Hunger Games.
and it is a huge room with loads of pillars.
Ooh.
And between every pillar is a guard. There are probably maybe 80 guards in this one room alone.
Could I have asked the Royal Guard's name?
You can, but he won't tell you.
Oh, okay. Just Royal Guard. All right.
You will just refer to me as
Just
guard.
call him Bob.
No, I'm just going to call him Fancy Feathers.
Actually, his name's Gary.
His
No,
name's Gary.
he's
Okay.
not.
Gary Fancy Feathers.
But yeah, this large, huge white marble room, perfectly polished floor that you can see has got a slight dip from where people have been walking up and down.
Oh.
You've got all these pillars, all these guards, and down the end you can see a lot of people wearing quite rich clothing. One of which has long hair that is kind of tied in a ponytail as such, but it's loosely done. The hair is kind of comes out almost and back into this ponytail, and is quite a large fellow. You realise this one probably has quite an opulent life. Eats a lot.
Lives the life of luxury.
And he turns and looks at you. I see our guests have arrived. And you are brought probably within about 20 feet of him, and the guard stops. And he kind of says, "You stop here."
Okie dokie.
But this guy, this rather large guy, he looks at you, and he kind of walks all the way around in a large circle. In case you're not too bright,
Clearly myself.
I am the Sultan Istan Kitra,
Pleasure to meet you.
and you are my guests.
Awesome.
Right, in a magic blocking cage.
Security.
You've done me a great favor, you see. A great, great favor. Removed a rather large thorn from my side.
What, the aberrants?
He looks at you.
Probably his nephew.
No.
We didn't kill his nephew, we killed the aberrants.
Yeah.
And he kind of waves at you to join him with the other aristocracy, I guess they are.
Okay.
And they're all on a balcony, sort of looking over a balcony out. And as you get closer, you can see the royal gardens, and there's hedges and whatnot, and far in the distance is the sea. You see, my nephew, the one you killed.
No, we killed an aberrant.
Let him talk.
Do not interrupt me again. My nephew, he was a problem to me. A rather nasty thorn in my side. He thought he was more important than he really was. He seemed to think that just because he was my nephew, that made him invincible. That he could get away with anything. But he caused me more headaches than he did serving me. You did me a favor by killing him. I couldn't do it. It's really obvious when someone member of the royal family kills another. And he was my brother's son. But you've killed him. You've solved a problem for me. But then I had to get you to come here. And came here you did. You've been causing me a lot of problems with me shifting my crystals.
Yes.
From what I understand, you ask a lot of questions, then stick your noses in where it's not wanted. But I am not an unjust man. I do not wish to silence you by just simply killing you. No, that is not the way we do things in Aston. So, I have decided that you are going to entertain me and my friends here. And they're all nodding. They're looking quite excited, these people.
Okay.
And come. You see down there. And he's pointing over this balcony, and there's a section with a load of hedges and curved bits of wall with different planters and fountains. And just beyond one of the hedges, you can see there is a load of walls
Maze.
that are tall. Yeah. And you see a huge maze.
Right.
This is still in its design phase. This is the prototype.
Death face.
But it is already world famous now. This is the Astan Labyrinth.
Okay.
Now, maybe you will survive. If you do, hopefully you will have learned a lesson. You will keep your noses out of things and you will just clear off. Otherwise,
We die.
you'll just simply die in there.
All right.
And
Can we get our stuff back?
Of course, you'll be giving it at the entrance to the labyrinth.
Fair enough.
If you make it out the far side, alive,
Are we all going in the same entrance?
you will all be going in together, yes. If you make it out alive, you are free to go.
Fair enough.
And with that, he signals to the guard who collected you,
Is
who comes along.
has
Follow me.
anyone made it out?
Probably not.
Anyone?
I don't want to ruin your enthusiasm.
Like-
I don't want to discourage you.
No, I'd rather know the truth.
Take them.
Can I not roll persuasion? No.
You're not going to persuade him.
Oh, okay.
Besides, we
It's a
ain't got
sadistic bastard.
it's probably the whole
Fair.
magic is the whole castle's probably anti-magic as well.
Probably.
So what's persuasion got to do with magic?
Well, I don't know if it would be the same
It's-
sort of thing.
No, I mean, you could try rolling persuasion, but, you know, you're talking about a very rich, powerful, arrogant man. You're probably not going to be able to persuade
Can
him.
I try and persuade the guard to tell us?
On the route down, yes.
Yeah. Cool, I'll do that.
Before we
Did you
leave,
roll
though,
high enough?
before we leave, though,
No.
Bobbo's just going to go. If we do make it out this this maze, if we've caused you so many problems, how much do you pay?
What do you mean? How much do I pay? Pay who?
Pay your staff. If we've caused you so many problems, then surely we'd be good to have on staff rather than against you.
You want me to offer you a job?
No, I'll just take a job. No, I don't need an
You
offer.
don't just walk in and take a job.
Hey, if we've caused you so many problems, it makes sense.
If you want me to offer you a job, how about you come back after you survive, if you survive, and we can talk about it. I like your attitude. It's clever. Always looking for a good survival opportunity. It's a good trait.
And on that, we'll pretty much just
You got a
leave with the
compliment.
guys.
That's nice.
So, yes, you can now have a
Yeah.
chance to speak to the guard. The guard at this point is going to be a little bit more chatty with you anyway.
How many have made it out? Any? At all?
I
Anyone?
have heard that some have. I have never seen it myself.
Is there any tips of those that survive that are public knowledge?
Don't get caught by the animals in there.
Probably.
The only tip I can really give you is, and he kind of looks around all of you, and don't get hung up on your friendship too much.
Don't what?
Get hung up on your friendships.
Fair enough.
What's in the maze?
Sometimes life is a
Highway.
each for himself type of situation, you know.
What's in this maze? I got a feeling it's not as simple.
I am
as just
forbidden to tell you. It would ruin the
Surprise. Entertainment?
the surprise, yes,
Yeah.
the entertainment.
That's fair enough.
I should not tell you.
No, we appreciate any advice that was given. And hey, at least I got something to look forward to if I do survive the maze. I'll hold you to your word of fighting me, though.
What's the quickest way out of the maze?
He's not allowed to tell us, I don't think.
The exit.
Is there multiple or just one?
You'll find out.
Right?
Well,
Go.
maybe you'll find out.
Does magic work in there?
Yes.
They didn't sound
To a
too
certain
sure about
point.
that.
Put it this way. We did see someone once. They tried to cast fly.
Is it to turn
And they
into
flew
a
up.
fly?
They got about 10 foot above and dropped like a stone.
So
I never saw
think-
them again.
I think the airspace above is magically,
Attuned. Yeah, that makes sense.
but the maze itself is.
If
Not.
you try,
Well,
I'm
that
just
doesn't
gonna ask
Cool
one more
thunder.
question, if that's all right. You cast a teleportation.
'cause I
spell
create the
inside
clouds.
maze.
Yeah.
You
It
won't
would-
get
it
out of the
wouldn't
maze.
work, I'm assuming. Yes, of course. That makes
You
sense.
cannot. There is
It's
literally,
10 foot up
because
in
of
the
the way
air.
it's been designed, you can
It's
only
erratic.
get out one way.
Ah, fair enough. Well, there we go. We got our
You
answer.
go in through the entrance. There are a lot of guards that will then block the entrance.
And then we go in the maze.
You can go at the exit.
Fair enough.
So basically, what age? what agent or what the guards just said is about 10 foot up in the air there is a magical barrier that allows no magic to be done in
Yeah.
Yeah.
which means if you cast the call lightning,
It
your
wouldn't work.
spell-
Creating it though.
your spell
It
creates
wouldn't
the
work.
clouds, which you won't be able to do because of the air.
Because the airspace would be stopped. Yeah. Right, well, thank you for your information. I suppose we should get to this main entrance, shouldn't we?
I'm looking forward to
I
this.
think
Misfortune favour the boy.
Or the
I think
lucky.
we've all got. Oh no, Snuggum's bold.
Look at me, very bold.
By this
Probably a
point,
bit upset coming out of his cave cell, though. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a kobold.
go back!
Kobold or go home.
Oh.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. And he leads you to the entrance,
Mhm.
where there is a bag of holding.
Yep.
The
Can we take the bag?
someone opens it and they lift out and
Get our stuff back.
something that you guys would recognise as your own. You realise that's one of them. He drops it back in, and he throws the bag 15 foot in, or however, into the cave, into the labyrinth. You guys walk in,
Grab our stuff.
and you hear a noise. You look behind you, and a wall has appeared where you just came in.
We probably cast, make wall.
And we will leave it there. Ready for next week, where you can see if you can.
Can we
make
say we
it
put
in.
all our stuff back on, though?
Yeah.
Can we keep the bag of holding as well?
Well,
I'll put
I
it on
assume
my-
so.
I'll put it on my inventory. I'm carrying the gold anyway.
What gold?
They'd have kept that.
They're not keeping our gold.
They said we put everything
I
in the
said, I
bag.
said all our stuff.
Yeah.
Consultant did say all our stuff.
I'm not that much of an asshole.
I don't know. That was a
A
lot.
little bit
of
off that, but I'm close.
Can we have 20 gold each and say that somebody else left some extra gold?
No.
No,
Oh, it's worth a try.
I wouldn't expect anything less from
From-
someone wearing a Liverpool top.
What's that got to do with anything?
Dodgy.
So what's the plan now? Bye, isn't
I
it?
can't say it live on stream.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you
Coming.
everybody for joining us.
Been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. And next week,
Took over 300 points of damage for you to kill me, but hey, you did it.
Yeah.
Looks a lot of damage.
I have learned throw back exactly what you throw at others.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in other words, you're saying I was a good player and I did it well.
Well, you've got good tactics,
Yeah. It's-
but eventually you get your butts kicked.
Oh, absolutely. I've run out of spells.
Can't keep
I've
it
got to
going
admit though,
forever.
that was a bloody good fight.
It was
It was a
fun.
damn good fight, but you were never going to win it.
No, we took out a lot of guards though.
The Khalif cheats, that's why.
Well, it wasn't cheating. It wasn't cheating. It was just well prepared.
He was cheating.
He was well prepared. There's a difference between being well prepared and cheating.
cheating.
So loser.
He was paranoid as anything, but you know, he did it well.
Yeah, he's just a sore loser here, isn't he? Just can't take
I'm
it.
not at all.
But anyway, thank you very much for joining us for the last time tonight. Go to www.tabletopdominion.com /
15% off, dude. Nice.
Geek Initiative.
Geek Initiative. Oh, no, there's someone else to join in.
Get yourself 15% off. Go on there, get yourself something nice.
Show some shiny dice.
Yeah, some shinies.
Shiny rocks.
Shiny, shiny.
Don't do a
Thanks.
snug 'em. Don't just whisper.
There's
a game.
experimental quantum displacement randomness things, whatever you want to call them.
The shiny baubles.
Dice.
Dice.
But
Excellent.
thank you very much for
Bye,
joining
guys.
us. And we will see you next week. Tuesday for
Yeah.
Shiver. Wednesday for more Creeping Aberration.
Creeping Aberration.
Yep. Where they will enter the labyrinth. What's in the labyrinth?
Who knows?
It's the Goblin King. You're going to go in there and find David Bowie.
Ah.
Dance, magic dance. Anyway, yeah, enough of that.
Don't want to get copyright.
So the way to get out of this then is dance in the street.
No, that was with Mick Jagger. He wasn't in
David
Labyrinth.
Bowie.
He wasn't in Labyrinth.
David Bowie was.
No, the way to get out of it is
Oh,
to
thank you
say,
very- thank you very
you
much,
have
Geek.
no
Thanks for the
power
help.
over me.
Appreciate it.
Nah.
Thank you for the heart, Big
Oh.
Bro. Very nice.
I have fought my way through the Goblin City and into your castle.
Alright.
Damn, I can never remember the next line.
And on that poor acting, thank you very much,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
See
Thank
you
you,
next
guys.
week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.